What is up guys, Ame back with another video. Reputation factions play an integral role in the game in Phase 1 of Wrath. There are many rewards you can get from increasing your standing with these factions, from increasing your player power through powerful Prebis items and enchants, to allowing you to traverse across Northrend in style. Some of these items aren't very good, while some are great Prebis pickups. In this one, we'll go over all of the notable rewards you can unlock as you gain favor with these factions. Let's get into it. As you start your journey in Northrend, the Kalu'ak are one of the first factions you may encounter. This nomadic race is made up of the tough yet kind-natured Tuskar, who make their living from fishing and whaling. Their home base can be found in the Borean tundra, but have smaller settlements in the Howling Fjord and Dragonblight, with all three of these settlements being connected by boat for your convenience. Now these aren't just any boats, no. These walruses straight up domesticated giant turtles to be their boats. How cool is that? To start getting reputation with the Kalu'ak, do all of the quests in each of their three settlements. This will take you into Revered and unlock a daily quest in each zone, which you can then do until Exalted. These fishermen will offer you a couple different bags for rewards. For leatherworkers, a 28 slot ammo pouch at Honored, a 28 slot leatherworking bag at Revered, and then a 32 slot herb bag for tailors at Revered as well. Considering they are fishermen, a big reward you get at Exalted is the epic quality Mastercraft Kalu'ak fishing pole. This fishing pole increases your fishing skill by 30, allows underwater breathing, and honestly looks pretty cool as well. A must-have for any fisher. Now, even better than the epic quality fishing pole, the best reward you can get from this faction is the one, the only, Pangu. Now this isn't just an ordinary penguin. This little guy travels by land and sea, swimming alongside you whenever you get in the water. Also, for some reason, if you use the /sexy emote when targeting him, he will slide around on his belly in excitement at that compliment. Getting Exalted with the Kalu'ak won't get you anything in way of player power as far as Prebis, but will get you this fishing pole and a fun little companion as well. Deep in the jungles of the Sholazar Basin, we come across a heated war between the Wolvar of the Frenzyheart tribe and these demon-looking Murloc rejects, the Gorloks of the Oracles. Now these factions work like the Aldor and the Scryers in TBC, as you can only be allied with one of them at a time. To start gaining reputation with them, you'll want to talk to Tamra Wobblesprocket on the eastern shore of the River's Heart in the basin. Now Wobblesprocket is a very weird last name for a human, so I did a little research and turns out she's got a thing for gnomes, as her husband is the flight master right across the way from her, Marvin Wobblesprocket. Miss Gnome Lover Wobblesprocket will give you a quest to kill this lion, Pitch, which then opens up a quest you can get from this guy, Tracker Gekgek, which will open up a long quest chain about the history of the war between these two factions. How you choose which faction to align with is actually pretty interesting. The final quest will have you kill Archuus the Heartless. At 30% health, he will freeze and Zepkick and Jalut will unfreeze. Killing Zepik will align you with the Oracles, while killing Jalut will align you with the Frenzyheart. If you ever want to change which faction you are aligned with, you'll kill Archuus again and choose the other NPC to kill. Once you finish this questline and pick a side on the war, you can start doing dailies to improve your standing with them. Let's start with the Frenzyheart. At Friendly, you can get these leaves that increase damage and movement speed by 5% while in Sholazar Basin. So useful while you're questing, but not for much else. Work your way up to Revered and you will be rewarded with a disgusting jar. Let this thing ferment for 7 days and you will have a chance to get health or mana potions, some alcohol that's useless, or most notably Frenzyheart Brew, which is just a fun item that turns you into a Wolvar. Every time you open a jar, you can then go back and get another one to try and get more rewards. Jewel crafters can also pick up a design at Revered for an 8 critical strike rating, 12 stam gem cut. At Exalted, you're going to get the Frenzyheart Insignia of Fury. It's an alright trinket, nothing super special, but it isn't unique, so you can get 2 of them to mess around with if you'd like. On the other side of the battle, if you choose to align yourself with the Oracles, you can get the Oracle Secret Solution at Friendly, giving a chance to deal poison damage and increasing movement speed by 5%. Again, just like the leaf from the Frenzyheart tribe, just something good for leveling. After working your butt off to get Revered, the Oracles will give you an egg.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
And after 7 days, this egg will hatch and reward you with aged yolk, most likely. Don't worry though, while Aged Yoke is one of the rewards from this, you can also get one of 4 pets. A Cobra Hatchling, a Proto-Drake Whelp, a Tickbird Hatchling, or a White Tickbird Hatchling. Interestingly enough, all of these pets are BOE, so you can trade them, sell them, do whatever you want with them. You may be asking yourself, there's gotta be something more than just some silly pets. Don't worry, at a 5% drop chance, you can get your hands on the one and only green Proto-Drake. This mount can be elusive, so if you're wanting it, get that Oracle rep up fast to start farming it. Also at Revered, Jewel Crafters can pick up the Sundered Forest Emerald, an 8 crit rating 4 MP5 gem cut. And then at Exalted, like the Frenzyheart tribe, you'll get a trinket, the Oracle Talisman of Ablution. A trinket that increases crit rating and also restores mana, rage, energy, or runic power when you kill an enemy that grants honor or experience. Like the Frenzyheart insignia, this trinket is not unique, so you can use 2 of them and it can be a nice little farming trinket, greatly increasing your uptime. Leaving the jungles of Sholazar behind and moving into the mountainous storm peaks, we will find the frost giants of the faction the Sons of Hodir. This faction is incredibly important, as it will give you access to shoulder enchants that you will use for the rest of the game. To begin getting favor with these giants, talk to Gretchen Fizzlespark to get the quest They Took Our Men, which starts a long and epic quest chain that is quite fun, to be honest. As you quest and increase your reputation, dailies will begin to unlock that you can do for more rep. Like the Netherwing eggs in Shadowmoon Valley that we were farming back in TBC, Everfrost chips will randomly appear in Eastern Storm Peaks that you can pick up and turn in for 350 rep. Another way to get rep is to turn in Relics of Ulduar that will give 650 rep per turn in. These will drop randomly in Storm Peaks, Halls of Lightning, and Halls of Stone. There are also BOEs, so you can buy and sell them on the AH to get your rep faster. For the Sons of Hodir, as well as the 4 main reputations we'll talk about later, you can get a commendation badge by doing the daily dungeon. You can use these to increase your reputation with one of these 5 factions by 520. At Honored, there's a couple of rewards you can get. These Frost Giants will offer you a Frost Resist Helm enchant to help you stave off that cold. Leatherworkers, you can get a pattern for the Mammoth Mining Bag, a 32 slot bag, and you'll get your first look at the shoulder enchants. Like the Aldor and Scryer shoulder enchants, at Honored you'll get the smaller versions, and then at Exalted, the big boy versions. Up next at Revered, there's the Spalders of the Giant Lords, which are fantastic Prebis shoulders for all plate wearing DPS. Since you'll be farming this rep for shoulder enchants anyway, this is a great piece to pick up before you see something better in raids. Another big reason people will be farming this rep is for the Mammoth mounts, with the first one coming at Revered. This one is only a single person mount, but then at Exalted, you can turn this bad boy into a carpooling machine, allowing 2 passengers to ride along with you. Also at Exalted, there's the Smooth Autumn's Glow Gem Cut, a solid cut giving 16 crit rating, and also the Glacial Bag for Tailors, which is a nice 22 slot bag pattern. And lastly, of course, we have the shoulder enchants, the reason we're here. Not much to say about these except that they're BIS for everyone, so you'll want to farm this rep. Now when I say everyone, I mean everyone except people with inscription as a profession. You guys will have access to even more powerful enchants that you can make for yourself. The Alliance Vanguard and Horde Expedition oversee the forces of their faction in Northrend. For every reputation point you gain with each of these 4 factions, you gain half a point for the Alliance Vanguard or Horde Expedition, depending on your faction. This is the first faction we'll talk about where championing is a way to gain reputation. Championing is introduced in Wrath and means that if you equip a faction's tabard in a level 80 normal dungeon or any heroic dungeon, you will gain reputation with that faction. For this, if you don't have one of the 4 other tabards equipped that can be used to gain reputation that we'll talk about later, you'll earn reputation with the Vanguard or Expedition. The rewards for both factions are the same but have different names, so we'll just look at one of them. All the meaningful rewards come in Exalted. For you PvPers, we have the Arcanum of the Savage Gladiator, which is the classic PvP helm enchant, giving stamina and 25 resilience. There's the plans for titanium plating for blacksmiths. You can put these on shields and it provides 81 block value and reduces the duration of disarm effects by 50%. Lastly, and what most people will do this reputation for, is the schematic for the Chopper if you're Alliance and Mechanohog if you're Horde. Not much to say about this one, it's just a great mount and a must-have for any engineer. Stationed in the city of Dalaran, the Kirin'Tor are a sect of wizards charged with the protection of the city. For those that played Warcraft 3, you'll remember that our friend Kel'Thuzad was once a member of the Kirin'Tor, but he defected and summoned Archimonde to destroy the city. The Kirin'Tor then salvaged the ruins, and it is now the Dalaran we know today in Wrath of the Lich King. While stationed in Dalaran, the Kirin'Tor can also be found at the Amber Ledge in the Borean Tundra, as well as at Star's Rest in Dragonblight. If you play a mage, you also get a leg up with this faction, as they start at friendly instead of neutral. Reputation can be gained with them by questing at these bases, as well as completing the cooking, fishing, and dungeon dailies in Dalaran. The Kirin'Tor, as well as the rest of the factions that we will cover in this video, offer a tabard at friendly, which, like we talked about before, can be worn in level 80 normal dungeons, as well as any heroic to gain reputation. While functional, these tabards are also stylish and will keep you looking good. The Kirin'Tor tabard has a nice pattern going on. It's got a soft lavender base with a gold overlay. It's flashy, it's nice, but personally, not my favorite tabard. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Each of the 4 reputations that offer a tabard also offer a resistance helm enchant at honored and then a bis helm enchant at revered, with the Kirin'Tor offering a fire resistant helm enchant at honored and then the very important spell power and critical strike helm enchant for casters and healers. Shroud of Dedicated Research is a great and easy cape to pick up at honored for both casters and healers, and is really close to other haste cloaks that you can get out of heroics. At revered as well, casters can pick up the Flameheart spell scalpel. This is honestly a great weapon to pick up for really any caster that can use daggers, especially since I don't think Titan Steel Spellblade is really worth it to get with how expensive it will potentially be. Tier 7 raids are not difficult, and since you casters want to farm this rep anyway for the helm enchant, this dagger is an easy go-to prebis option. Also at revered are some nice expertise legs with the mind expanding leggings, notably great for you feral tanks. Once you reach Exalted, you will unlock the epic quality 200 eye level gear. You have Robes of the Crackling Flame, Spell Power, Haste, and MP5 chest. This is a very solid prebis option for healers. Fireproofing gauntlets for tank, again they're not the bis of the bis, but they're there if you need them. And then Ghost Flicker Waistband is a great belt for boomies and LA shamans, as well as every healer that can wear leather is a nice prebis piece. And then lastly for the gear, we have Boots of Twinkling Stars, which someone like an enhanced shaman could pick up. What is important at Exalted with this faction is that jewel crafters get a very important gem cut with the Ruined Scarlet Ruby, a pure spell power gem cut which will get used a lot, so pick it up if you're a jewel crafter. And then tailors also get the pattern for Sapphire's Spell Thread, another very useful item that will always be used, which enchants legs with 50 spell power and 30 stamina. While not a reputation reward and can be purchased whenever you want, the Kirin'Tor offer a number of very expensive and powerful rings that are reduced in cost as you gain more rep with them, starting at 8,500 gold and getting down to 6,800 gold at Exalted. They start at 200 eye level and can be upgraded all the way to 251 eye level down the line by turning them in and paying 1,000 gold each time at Exalted to upgrade them. These rings also teleport you to Dalaran, which is nifty because you can then set your Hearthstone to a different location and have 2 different Hearthstones, or you can have 2 Hearthstones straight to Dalaran. Most of the vendors in Dalaran are also a part of the Kirin'Tor faction, meaning that if you are Exalted with them or just have higher rep with them, a lot of things will be cheaper, including your repair bill. Not far from Dalaran is the Wyrmrest Temple in Dragonblight, which is home to the Wyrmrest Accord. This alliance is made up of the 4 remaining Dragonflights, Red, Bronze, Green, and even Black, against the Blue Dragonflight's Crusade. While located in Dragonblight, they also have a base camp in Kuldara in Borean Tundra. Like the Kirin'Tor and the next 2 factions, no surprise here, you'll do the quests at these base camps to start your rep grind, and then once you reach friendly, you can use their tabard to get rep in dungeons. You can also do the dailies once they're unlocked. These dragons are powerful, but definitely have the worst fashion sense. The design on this tabard is nice, but the colors just aren't there for me, and there's a lot better red tabards out there. This one gets a 4 out of 10. The helm enchants you will unlock here are the Arcane Resist enchant at Honored, and the 30 spell power and 10 MP5 enchant at Exalted. This enchant won't be used that much since both casters and healers will lean more toward the Kirin'Tor one with crit instead of MP5. At Revered, tanks can pick up a couple nice prebis options. There's the Breastplate of the Solemn Council, giving defense and expertise, and the Sabatons of Draconic Vigor, giving defense and hit. And then also at Revered, tailors can get the Mysterious Bag Pattern, a 32 slot enchanting bag. Like the Kirin'Tor, there's actually a great caster weapon here for casters that can use maces with the Gavel of the Brewing Storm. It's essentially the same exact weapon, but has haste instead of hit. So if you aren't hit starved, this is even better. Now at Exalted is where we're going to get the big stuff. Jewel Crafters can get the Glimmering Monarch Topaz, a parry rating and defense rating gem cut, matching a red or yellow socket. For gear, there's the leg plates of Bloody Reprisal. There's better legs in heroic dungeons, but these are honestly pretty good and a solid option. The Grips of Fierce Pronouncement are honestly super close to being really good. They're optional prebis for Ellie and Resto Shaman, but if these had haste or crit, they'd be really juicy since the MP5 really isn't the best. Dragonfeed Bracers can give some nice agility, crit, and attack power, and are pre-bis for Ferals, Rogues, and Hunters. And lastly for the gear, the Sandals of Crimson Fury. These sandals are straight up pre-bis for pretty much every caster and healer. If you're using spells or healing, these boots are a great way to go and are itemized perfectly with spell power, haste, and a nice socket. Finally, at Exalted, it's not just the gear these dragons will give you. To reward you for all your hard work, the grinding, and as a symbol of your newfound friendship, they will straight up sell you one of their own kind to ride around on whenever you want. Kinda messed up and morally vague if you ask me, but it's a cool mount and an easy pickup. In Wrath, our favorite evil fighting crusaders are back with the Argent Crusade. This crew of crusaders is stationed all around Northrend, with bases at Dawn's Reach and Dragonblight, Light's Breach and the Argent Stand in Zuldrak, and the Argent Vanguard and the Argent Tournament in Icecrown. Reputation gains can of course be started by questing at these zones, and at Friendly you will get the tabard to use in dungeons. Now these crusaders beat down on baddies in style. This off-white and gray tabard is crisp, it's clean, and a great tabard to throw on with a lot of sets. This one gets a 9 out of 10. For the helm enchants, we've got the Arcanum of the Fleeing Shadow giving Shadow Resist, and then the main helm enchant here at Revered is the Arcanum of the Stalwart Protector, which is the go-to tank enchant giving 37 stamina and 20 defense. Jewel Crafters also get a gem cut at Revered, the Guardian's Twilight Opal, which gives expertise and stamina. Not a terrible gem at all. For our big loot at Exalted, the Signet of Hopeful Light is a spell power haste ring that also has a ton of intellect, making it a solid prebis option for Holy Paladins. It's also a great pickup for any caster or healer, but there are better options out there in Heroics that offer way more haste. Staying on the Holy Paladin path here, there's another prebis option with the Helm of Purified Thoughts. So if you're going for this, you can get the ring and the helm. Another solid prebis option here for physical DPS is the Boots of the Never-Ending Path. These are going to be good for any physical damage dealer that can't wear plate, because there's a better plate option that we'll talk about a little later. And then for hunters, you have the Polished Regimental Halberd, a great piece to pick up that is loaded with agility, hit, and attack power, everything you need. Lastly, at Exalted, tailors can pick up the very important pattern for Brilliant Spell Thread, which enchants your legs to increase spell power by 50 and spirit by 20. Last up on the reputations to cover, we have the group of Renegade Death Knights whose job is to train new Death Knights, the Knights of the Ebon Blade. They are based in the Eastern Plaguelands, but also have bases at the Shadow Vault in Icecrown and Ebon Watch in Zuldrak. Bonus for you Death Knights here, once you finish your introductory questline in your starting zone, you will start at Friendly with this faction. For everyone else, to get reputation with them, you guessed it, you're going to start by questing in these zones until Friendly, and then you can use the tabard. For the tabard, what else would we expect from a group of edgy emo Death Knights? It's a bold yet subtle tabard that honestly looks pretty clean. I dig it. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. The helm enchants we're working with here are the Nature Resist helm enchant at Honored, and the Arcanum of Torment at Revered, the enchant for all physical DPS dealers, giving 50 attack power and 20 critical strike rating. While the Kirin'Tor had a haste and spell power cloak at Honored, there's a solid hit and spell power cloak here for any casters that are hit starved, so it's a good and easy pickup. At Revered, there's a couple of blue items that are honestly fairly decent as well. Reaper of Dark Souls isn't a half bad sword. If you happen to get Revered and don't have anything better, it's a nice sword to pick up for people like you Frost Death Knights. Spalders of the Black Arrow are actually pretty solid as a prebis option for hunters, giving agility, int, crit strike, and attack power. Anyone that uses two-handed weapons can also get the Rune Blade of Demonstratable Power. It's definitely not the best weapon out there, but again a solid option if you don't have anything else and you are already farming this reputation. And then lastly at Revered, tailors can get a pattern to make a 32 slot soul bag, and Jewel Crafters get the gem cut for the Wicked Monarch Topaz, a 16 attack power, 8 crit rating gem. Finally, at Exalted, there's some great pieces. Darkheart Chestguard is a great prebis pickup for physical DPS leather wearers. Belt of Dark Mending is a spell power and haste rating cloth belt. It's decent, it's not the best, especially if you need the hit, which this doesn't have. Kilt of Dark Mercy is there as an option for Ellie and Resto Shamans, again not full prebis, but there if you need it. But the big item here are the Death Inured Sabatons. These boots are BIS for every physical DPS dealer that can wear plate, and will only be replaced in raids. Since you physicals will need to farm this rep to Revere to get your helm enchant already, it's not a bad idea to keep that tabard on while dungeoning a little longer to get these boots. Lastly, at Exalted, Jewel Crafters will get the glowing Twilight Opal cut, giving 9 spell power and 12 stamina. Last thing to do for this reputation guide is to hit that like and subscribe button as you head out. It helps the channel out a ton. I'm also live on Twitch throughout the week at twitch.tv/AmeTV. Drop by and say hi sometime. Again, this rep guide was focusing on all the important loot from the factions. There's a lot of other loot that wasn't covered. That's mainly just leveling items or would be replaced very fast. That's it for me today though, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.